I'm Mike Wilbon. It's National Polar Bear Day, Tony. Do you have a favorite bear?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Cody Parkey?
Okay, you got to do that. I know you just played golf.
I played golf with him.
I forgive him for double doink. I do. I've forgotten all about it.
Really?
I have.
Really?
I'll let it go.
You get the pictures that I sent to you with me and him?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
nice
you got to
kid.
do better than that.
No, he's a nice kid.
You got.
I don't know.
Ditka, you played golf with Gale Sayers once.
Love Gale Sayers.
I know you.
One of the greatest of all time, obviously.
time.
You know that. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, NFL players rate their teams. Ohio State dares Alabama to drop it from the schedule, and Charles Barkley joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with Kon Knueppel, the Charlotte Hornets rookie wing who last night made 8 3-pointers, giving him 209 threes made this season. Best in the NBA and a record ever for rookies. The old rookie record was 206 by Keegan Murray of Sacramento 4 years ago, who took 80 games to get there. Knueppel has played 59. Wilbon, Kon Knueppel's milestone, big deal, little deal, no deal?
The milestone itself is a deal, mid-deal. But what Kon Knueppel's doing this season as a rookie is a big deal. It is such a big deal to me. One, like a lot of people, I've started paying attention and then even watching the Charlotte Hornets play because of the way they play. Yes, they have LaMelo Ball, who's exciting, but he was exciting in just an empty calories way before. Now, Tony, with Knueppel out there, I'm going to tell you this. You know, I vote for postseason or regular season awards. Right now, he would be my rookie of the year, ahead of his Duke teammate, who I know is a bigger deal, has numbers in lots of categories, and has not been a disappointment
Not at
on
all.
any level.
No, he's an all-star.
But Knueppel does not have the ball in his hands because Ball has it in his hands. And yet, when he touches it, he is fire. He's shooting 44% from three. That team is viable, and he's the difference, Tone.
Yes, he appears to be the difference. Last year, Charlotte was 19-63. They already have 29 wins, and they have 22 games left to go. He is a bigger. You cannot make a judgment as to how big a deal this is right now. You have to wait for a few years. For example, the guy who held the record, Keegan Murray, right now he averages 14 points a game for Sacramento. That's fine, but it's not all-star level.
No.
Right? And he has not made 200 threes in any season since the first.
He doesn't really have an impact on the game. This kid does.
Like you, I was fixated last year on Duke, on Cooper Flagg. And look, when Knueppel went 4th overall in the draft, I was surprised, and I thought that was maybe too high. But look, as we're saying, what he has done, look at the wins and the losses. I'm going to say something, I don't mean it to be sacrilegious.
What?
I don't. Because Cooper Flagg is going to be a great, great player. What if this kid ends up being Jerry West? What if he ends up being Mr. Clutch?
Listen,
what if he shoots that well? He is leading the NBA in made threes right now. He's ahead of Steph Curry. It's the only name I want to mention, and I want to mention it for a reason. And by the way, at 44.2%, he can shoot all night. Nobody's going to tell him not to.
That's right.
He's the next generation. Steph Curry, he's a child of Steph Curry. The game has changed.
I said last year, Steph Curry changed it. By the way, more than anybody. This kid reminds me of a young Chris Mullin.
Okay.
And range is deeper for everybody now.
Not lefty,
but Knueppel, I saw him play like AAU or something. It was AAU. And I just remember thinking, when you can shoot like this, don't tell me that everybody's as good as you or better than you. What? Hardly anybody's better than him. Not this year. Let's move to this year's NFLPA team report cards. An arbitrator ruled the union couldn't publish them, but the arbitrator couldn't stop ESPN from getting our hands on them. More than 1,700 players rated teams in various categories, including ownership, facilities, and coaches. Miami rated first. That must surprise you. Surprised me.
Does.
Pittsburgh ranked last.
That surprised me too, yeah.
The NFL claims the survey isn't scientifically valid.
Of course it's not.
What? With that said, Tone, what result intrigued you more? I know you've surveyed the whole thing.
So this is the thing that the court said could not be published.
Please.
But here's
like
what
it's the Pentagon Papers.
Here's what happens. They send this to every single player. And you know who wants it public? The NFLPA wants it public because they want to shame the teams at the bottom. That's what they want to do. Okay.
No
so Miami is first. Minnesota is second. Washington is third. And you know what they have in common besides good snacks and family-friendly activities? They have this in common. They didn't make the playoffs. The guy who was the general manager at Miami got an A. General manager at Minnesota got an A. You know what they have in common? They got fired. First place, you're fired. Now, Pittsburgh is last. They say that Pittsburgh has an F- on the locker room and the facilities.
And the field. Facility meaning the field. That field was
Did they make the playoffs? Yes, they made the playoffs.
That's why you can't pay this any attention.
Every
coach got an A or an A+. Well, except like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
Aaron Glenn got an A. The Jets have no wins. The guy in Washington, Dan Quinn, got A+ because he wears his hat backwards. They were 5-12.
It's nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense. The union wants it out there. Now, his was not nonsense. The part about how they treat the families, because when you look at free agency, right?
That's important. That becomes important.
It is.
How about the fact that Kansas City was rated 27th and they got an F on locker room? Kansas City in the last 7 years, 5 times to the Super Bowl, 3 wins. You think the locker room's killing them? Because I don't.
I bet you this, though. I bet you the Chiefs as a club, you let the locker room go to hell, so it helps you get the new stadium you've demanded across state lines.
But it's not. New England was rated 26th. New England,
the plane wasn't so comfy.
D in food, F on team travel.
How hard is it to get great chowder?
Where did they go
this
year? They went to the Super Bowl this year.
So again,
fun.
Dismissal.
It's dismissible, but
for us,
good to talk about. Good television.
Yeah.
Let's move to college football and a story about 2 of the great powers, Alabama and Ohio State. They are scheduled to meet in 2027 and 2028. But Alabama has also recently scheduled Georgia State in 2028, a 4th non-conference opponent. And the SEC only allows 3. This has led to speculation that Alabama could drop Ohio State. Ohio State's athletic director told the Columbus Dispatch, quote, "We expect the 2-game series to be played. We should never be afraid to play anybody. We're Ohio State." Boom,
Ohio
unquote.
State.
Wilbon, if you were Alabama, would you keep Ohio State on your schedule?
Hell no. No. Now that the SEC teams are playing 9 SEC games, no, you just added a team on your schedule that is probably like 50% chance of being a top 10 or 12 team.
10
maybe
or 12?
But you could
top
get
5.
Maybe you get one of the bottom ones. It's a conference schedule. So it could be top 5. So you don't need another one of those. People go crazy. They overreact to every loss you have. No. It doesn't mean you get to play Wofford 4 or 5 times like every SEC team seemed to do at one point. But you don't have to add Ohio State. You don't.
Sorry. So look, I'm not going to put myself in Alabama's shoes because obviously we both agree that playing Georgia State is very, 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 very easy compared to Ohio State.
Of course it is.
Right? But I also think that if Alabama opened against Ohio State and won that game, they'd be almost assured of getting into the playoffs. Because didn't Ohio State open against Texas
but
this
if
year?
you lose it and you wind up being a 3-loss team because you got that tough conference schedule.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. And I mean, from a fan standpoint, I want to see Alabama and Ohio State. And outside of Tuscaloosa, nobody really wants to see Georgia State and Alabama, right? Here's my sense, because here are the notes that I took. If Alabama ducks this game, they're going to look like cowards. That statement by the Ohio State athletic director is
flexing.
bold.
It was flexing.
We are unafraid, and it looks like Alabama is afraid at that point. I am hoping they went into this with their eyes open. I am hoping both schools.
No, but those schedules were made years in advance.
How many years?
I guarantee you Alabama that schedule was made before the SEC mandated 9, not 8.
Alabama and Ohio State know who the other one is, and they wanted that game. They wanted that game.
You know what? There's one. I'm a Big Ten guy.
Well, I got Big Ten news for you.
I'm inclined, as you know, to favor my conference.
Yeah.
There's one school that too often. There's a word I want to use, 3 letters, but I won't do it. Rhymes with donkey. There's one school that acts above all the others all the time.
State?
And it's the Ohio State University. And by the way, they've earned a lot of that, particularly on the football side, not everything else.
Let me give you another Big Ten school.
What?
Indiana, national champions. You know who they played out of conference this year? Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. Indiana State without Larry Bird.
It needs to beef up.
You know who they got next year? North Texas, Howard, and Western Kentucky. Now they
Howard game. Is the Howard game here in Washington?
I doubt that. They earned it on the field. They beat Oregon. They beat Ohio State.
I'm
they
not
beat
going to say,
Alabama.
I'm never
They
going to
beat
say
Miami.
Ohio State doesn't earn it on the field because they always do. But they know what the situation is in the SEC. They know. They don't care.
That guy, the AD there, he can stand behind that statement forever. Let's take a break. Coming up, I think tanking is a bigger issue than load management, and Wilbon disagrees. We're going to ask Charles Barkley to decide.
We'll also ask him whether he thinks Victor Wembanyama needs to go through playoff heartbreak or whether he can go straight through OKC and Denver for the title.
What word rhymes with donkey? That's 3 letters. You want to tell me off? Inside the NBA has moved to ESPN, which means Charles Barkley is now our colleague. He was our first ever guest. We're thrilled to have him back in the show. And before we went on the air, we were talking about golf courses, of course, and the fact that Chuck is wearing his 76ers, the team that drafted him.
Yeah.
Everything is good. Let's start with this. I think tanking is the bigger issue for the NBA. Wilbon thinks it's load management. Who is right?
I'm got to go with my brother Wilbon because Tony, there's always been tanking in the NBA. There's always been tanking. I think we have to address it. I don't think we should reward losing, honestly. Everybody in the lottery should get one ball, and whatever happens, happen. But when you start saying you're going to get extra ping pong balls for losing, I think that's what the problem is. I think every team in the lottery should get one ping pong ball and take their chances.
But as you said, load management, I know load management has to just annoy the hell out of you, Chuck.
Well, what bothers me is from the fans, Mike, because obviously I don't hate on these young guys. They're making $50, $60 million, and with this new TV deal, they're going to be making $70, $80, $90, $100 million. I think it's unfair to the game and to the fans for you to make $80, $90 million and say, I can't play basketball 2 days in a row. That's a travesty.
You said the other day you'd prevent tanking teams from raising ticket prices. What kind of reaction did you get to that?
Mike, I've been saying this for years. I don't think, not just basketball, I don't think any sports team, if your record is below 500, you should not be able to raise your ticket prices. I'm not saying you got to win the championship. I'm not even saying you got to go deep in the playoffs. But when your team is 500 or less, you should not be able to raise ticket prices. I've been saying that for many years, and I would love for all sports to adopt that.
Tell us what else. We love these sessions where we get to pick your brain about the league and what's going on. You and I do this more frequently. Now we're going to let Tony in on it. Yeah. What else would you do? What other stuff do you see about the game and you say, if I was commissioner today, I'd do this?
Well, I think we've got to find a way to make sure fans, Mike, you've been beating this drum for a long time. It is so difficult for fans to find the games now. I think we've done a disservice to the fans and to the game. We've got to find a way to let the fans know, because the fans are the backbone, and we want to support these networks. I'm so honored to be on ESPN now because it's the greatest sports network ever. But people don't even know when NBC games are on NBC, when they're on Peacock. They don't know when the game's on Amazon. And we got to be very careful because, you know, we got an 11-year deal, and it's a team deal. The players are going to be successful, but we want the networks to be successful also. I think the number one thing we got to do is make sure we let the fans know exactly when the games are on.
Hear, hear.
That's it? That's it? You're done with questions? Can I ask an off-book question?
We'll let you in.
What do you weigh now? You look great. What do you weigh now?
I weigh 270. I started doing with Row.co, doing Zep Bound. I started at 355. I'm at 270, and I want to get to 265. So I'm right where I want to be. But what's going to happen, Tony and Mike, when I get to 265, I'm going to get off the drug, because I don't think anybody want to be on drugs their entire life. I'm going to take a month off and see what happens with my body, because even though I'm taking a shot, I've changed my eating habits and I'm working out. To me, that's the biggest misconception, the notion that you can just take a shot and lose weight. I had to change my eating habits, and I had to start working out. But I'm very excited where my body is now.
265 shouldn't be that hard. You only have 5 to go. You could do that by next Thursday if you wanted to. You could do that.
Well, I'm going to try. But, you know, that's the thing. You know, because I tell people, you got to eat. Because, hey, I didn't get fat not eating, so I like to eat.
All right, let me go back to basketball. Apparently, our inside people say that you have switched from the Knicks to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference. Why not the Pistons?
Well, I watched the Pistons play the Spurs the other night, and my criticism of the Pistons has been Cade Cunningham and Duran have to play great. And one of them didn't play great, and they lost. The reason I like the Cavs, there's really nobody on the Cavs who have to play great. James can have a bad game. Donovan Mitchell can make up for it. Mobley can have a bad game. Allen can make up for it. So I think they got more room for error. So my personal pick right now is the Cavs in the East because of margin of error. Because your great players, they're going to have a bad game here or there. But the Pistons, as great a season they have, Cade Cunningham and Duran have to play great if they're going to go deep in the playoffs.
I'm glad you mentioned San Antonio because you know from personal experience that teams historically have to experience heartbreak in the playoffs before they're able to win. Do you think that Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs are the exception? Can they go that far in the playoff, Charles, without having had that personal playoff heartbreak?
I love Victor Wembanyama. I think what they're doing in San Antonio. And, hey, listen, the most underrated player in the league now is probably Stephon Castle. That kid is a flat-out beast. But I still like OKC and Denver. I do. I like those two teams in the West. But, hey, listen, Wembanyama, what that young man is doing, it's great for the league. It's great for San Antonio. But I still like OKC and Denver in the West.
It's great for us that you're on ESPN. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you.
Appreciate it. See you soon.
Thank you, brothers.
You can catch Charles and Ernie and Kenny and Shaq on NBA Tip-Off immediately following this high-quality program. Let's take one last break. Still to come, there are at least 3 big men's college. Happy time, people. Happy 30th birthday, Chris Godwin. Godwin is one of 2 premier wide receivers in Tampa Bay, along with Mike Evans. But as a free agent, Evans could be leaving. Godwin has 2 years left on his contract with the Bucs. Both were injured, missed a lot of games last season. Godwin played in 9 games, had just 33 catches for 360 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has gone over 1,000 yards receiving 4 different times and has 41 career receiving touchdowns. Godwin was a 3rd-round pick by the Bucs in 2017 out of Penn State and was a Pro Bowler in 2019 when he had 86 catches, 1,333 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
Great season.
While in Tampa, Godwin has caught passes from Heisman winners Jameis Winston and Baker Mayfield, but he won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
Quite a tandem. You would think a team would really try to figure out a way to keep those two together on their own roster. Evans is only going to something called the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And yet it's like they're both just going to be vapors.
Sort of like Cincinnati, where you try and keep
Yes,
them both
keep them
if you
together.
like your quarterback. Happy anniversary, Mike Conley Sr. On this day 39 years ago, the great long jumper and triple jumper set the world indoor record in the triple jump, going 58 feet, 3 1/4 inches in a meet at Madison Square Garden. Conley said he knew he nailed it because, quote, my toes were almost coming out of the pit, unquote. Conley won the gold medal in the triple jump in Barcelona in 1992, the silver medal in Los Angeles in 1984. Conley's son, Mike Jr., while not an Olympian, has been a steady, valued NBA point guard for the past 19 seasons. After being traded twice and waived this season, Conley recently re-signed with Minnesota, originally drafted by Memphis, and remains that franchise's leading scorer.
Mike Conley is a Chicago kid, went to Luther South High School. I had one of my best games pictured against Luther South. I wonder if Mike Conley,
Did
who
you
was
strike him
probably,
out?
You know what? I know that he played baseball, but he's such a great athlete at a time where people played everything.
Yeah.
Mike Conley Sr.
Do you think you
great
struck
athlete.
him out? Do you think you struck him
I'd
out?
like to think I had some success.
Happy trails to the final minute of last night's game to Philip Gustafson. Minnesota's goaltender stopped 44 shots as the Wild beat the NHL-leading Colorado Avalanche 5-2 in Denver. Gustafson left it all on the ice, including whatever was in his belly. Illness led him to vomit in the crease with about a minute remaining, and he was replaced for the finish. Wild coach John Hines called it, quote, a real gutty performance, unquote. You get that?
The moment that happens, the referee should have the power to come in, point to both benches, and say, he's gone.
Well, they took him.
If you can do it, no, just forced out, like concussion protocol. Was it vomit protocol?
That would be great.
Tummy
Big finish
protocol?
quickly. Shea
Let's do it.
Gilgeous-Alexander cleared to return from his ab strain tonight against the Nuggets. Is that a big deal?
Yes, the Thunder was just 5-4 without him. They need him back in the lineup. He wants to be MVP maybe again. Time to get back. UConn women beat Georgetown by 32 to move to 30-0, undefeated still on the season. Is that significant?
They're the best team in the country right now, and it's without Paige Beckers. And they were a championship team last year. The Spurs, your Spurs, 11-0 in February. Your Bulls, 0-11. Bigger headline in Wilbon world.
The Bulls are wizard-level irrelevant, so it's the Spurs. College hoops this weekend. Michigan, Illinois, Virginia, Duke, Kansas at Arizona. What's the biggest game?
I'm going to say Kansas at Arizona, but all three are really big games. Last one, Cavs at Pistons tonight. Are you intrigued?
I am, but if Donovan Mitchell is out, and he apparently is, the Pistons at home ought to win this convincingly.
The Pistons should have beaten Oklahoma City by
no trap
30
game
points.
tonight. No
Don't
trap
you
game.
think? We're out of time. Try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Have a great weekend, knuckleheads. And now, here's NBA Today tip-off.